There we go. I'm ready now.
There we are. Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, bodies of water. We are the Alchemy Lab. My name is Lee, and I'm playing Cassius Valentine.
I'm Carl. I'm playing Graccus Foebreaker.
And I'm Matt, and I am the master of the dungeon. Not that we're in a dungeon.
We've yet to be in a dungeon.
Mihre feels pretty much like a massive dungeon, to be honest. It's pretty shitty from top to bottom, let's be honest.
Yeah. In certain ways, yeah. Depending
But
on
aren't
how you
we
define
all in a dungeon, Matt? Aren't we all in a dungeon of the mind?
Of the mind, of the self.
This is a tangential episode, not the Alchemy Lab. Stop it.
Well, last time on the Shattered Lands Streets of Mihre, you got a sense of how evil this entity or person is.
It's fucked. This is all fucked.
Yeah.
It's awful.
There's mind control involved.
Mm-hmm.
The other person who was mind controlled, according to the doctor you spoke to, is probably too far gone. Liza is not, however. Liza is not too far gone.
But is her husband, perhaps? He might be fucking dead. Everyone's dead. Everyone's dying or dead.
This is a quest in The Witcher 3. I'm looking for someone. They're dead. No,
dead.
Don't worry.
They're dead.
They're always dead.
The blood trails.
Always.
To be fair, pretty much every quest we've dealt with is started by someone has died.
Oh yeah, murder investigations, man.
We met each other because a human trafficker was killed.
Exactly.
The second one we met because the bodies were falling from the sky.
Indeed.
I mean, the first one was so vanilla, right? The first one was so vanilla compared to the next.
Considering where we've gone, we started with
Deadens.
human trafficking and we've gone downhill from there. I mean,
we had the deadies.
That's me.
And I almost got mind raped by an obelisk.
And you were.
That's what I said. I said I almost got mind raped by an obelisk, and now we've got all manner of things. But anyway, if I remember correctly, we are now in the Eastern Quarter.
Yeah.
Yes. So you're just pulling in to the Eastern Quarter. Now you don't know why it's called the Eastern Quarter, because the name means nothing to you. The compass is, of course, as you know, but I don't think the people at home know. The compass is different in the Shattered Lands because there's no magnetic north or south or whatever. So it works as you have core, which is toward the core of the asteroids.
If we're looking down,
you have you have void, which is out toward the edge of the asteroids.
Yeah.
And then it's done by the wind. So you have against is against the wind, and I think sail.
Yeah.
I think it's sail.
It is.
Which is for the wind. Yeah. So yeah, this is just sort of it doesn't really mean anything to you. It could be a name, it could be a place. Eastern. Who knows? It's out of universe. It's probably a relic of past times. So maybe a sign is a relic of a past time. But regardless of that, you're pulling in. You took the road that ran along the edge of the city. So you had like sky and islands, sheer drop that way, and then city this way. Boise has been pretty quiet in the cart. You get the feeling that he's not too keen on coming to this end of town.
Okay.
In fact, as he slows up the cart now, he's casting his eyes about.
Boise, are you okay?
There's people this way that aren't too keen on me, aren't too keen on Charon. So, rivals and all that.
Yes, I did meet another who was not too keen on Charon either. The old hag, who tells fortunes in the market. I must speak to him about her, actually, once this ugly business is put to rest.
Right. Well, I'm gonna be strapped with a blade, so I'm happy to stay with the cart. I'll probably find somewhere low key that I can just park up and lay low. Probably edge of the docks. It's going to be doubling back the way we came, but only by a minute or so. That's about 5 minutes walk. So 5 minutes back the way we came from here. That's where you'll find me.
Very well. So I sort of lean over him because we're sort of still in the cart and tap his tummy where I got him the first time, where I stabbed right through him and go, "Stay safe." And I jump off.
It's always fucking reminding me that it's just fucking, and you hear him grumble. His grumbles get quieter and quieter as he maneuvers the beetle-drawn cart away.
Really,
more and more
Cassius?
indistinct as he goes.
Yeah.
Really, Cassius, do you always have to antagonize him?
Well, a little bit of humour at this time, I think, can be a salve for what I imagine we're about to find here, Graccus. So
I'll make my own salve out of the guy's remains. Thank you very much.
Indeed.
Where would you like to begin your search?
So she remembers walking Skyside. Vice's last memory was walking Skyside. She wasn't too far, then she felt something in the back of the head. She saw Calliope. That's it. She saw Calliope, feels the thing in the back of her head.
Yeah.
Could be a mallet or magic. We're not too sure.
She felt
then she's out.
She felt someone touch
her. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. And then she was out for 4 months.
Yep.
And then
basically
came back to us.
When we got about here. Well, Rembrandt did say that the doctor's abode was down Skyside. Maybe head towards that. It's the only connection we have is that doctor's house.
Yes, if we see anyone on the way, perhaps we can ask for directions.
Sounds good.
So
we'll walk, continuing the route that Boise would have taken us should he have not doubled back, disgruntled.
All right, yeah, you make your way. It is breathtaking and unnerving at the same time to be walking beside this sheer drop, even though you're both used to it from where you were from or from just experience being around it. Still,
I imagine it's been a while since we've been in this kind of situation, though. I mean, we're both from very far out. As if we're talking about the compass, we're both very void.
Oh yeah,
you're both super void.
Cassius, in fact, is most void. Like you can't go any further.
Yeah,
or can you?
Graccus is pretty void as well. Like, I imagine we're probably one of the last bastions of things before you hit your people. To be honest,
even with that, this is the first time in a while you've been this close to just.
That's what I mean, because also we weren't as poor before this, so we were far away from Skyside, and now we're right up against it. Yeah. But I do take a little look as we sort of walk past and sort of out into the serpentine sky, and just I feel adventure and secret out there. There's a bit of vertigo, but also a bit of a pull as well.
Remind me the time of day.
We are, I believe it would be like high sun, if you'd like.
Yeah, I think it's like afternoon, isn't it?
The afternoon. Because we went to the market first thing and caught Liza pretty early on.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Okay, cool. So you so there's not really a huge amount of foot traffic out. Mostly kind of OAPs and the odd vagrant. But they're not walking along this path really. you see a sort of sickly-looking old man who's making his way in the same direction you are. But apart from that, not much.
Okay. So I'm going to just sort of sidle up to Graccus and go, trust me on this. I click my fingers and prestidigitate. Sort of a, when you can smell someone is ill.
Yes.
Yeah. You know? So I have made Graccus smell a bit ill.
You could have given me a bit more warning.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I sort of I put my hand behind Graccus and
I
carry us both over.
Sort of hunch forward and sort of clutch my chest a little bit, sort of.
How can I help you?
We are in need of a doctor for my friend here. He drunk too much last night, maybe ate too much off food, and I'd like to get him some medical attention if possible. Do you know if there is a doctor around here?
Yes, just up there. You carry on along here for 5 minutes or so, and then you'll get there.
Do you know the doctor's name at all, sir?
Was a new doctor. It's slipped my mind.
No, that's fine. Any doctor will do.
Well, carry along the Skyside Road. 5 minutes, and then it'll be the first left.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Hey, you two have a good day. You get well soon there, big fella. All right, so you carry on.
New doctor is all I need to know. She was, or he, I'm not sure of the sex of the doctor. But Doctor Rayn,
I can't remember if they've said.
I think Rembrandt said male.
Licensed doctor,
Rembrandt, I think,
human,
said
old. Yeah.
Okay.
And I click my fingers again and make Graccus smell of his usual orcish self.
Not even going to make him smell like floral or anything like that. Just.
I don't think he'd like that.
No, Graccus wouldn't. He didn't like the fact he was made to smell sickly. To be perfectly honest, without being told, I'm sort of looking at himself like.
I give him a short salve of the smell of battle. Towering infernos, blood, like old blood.
Yeah.
Steel in the air, iron.
It comes in like a battered deodorant can, like proper battered.
Yeah.
It's literally called Axe.
War.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually Axe, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Axe body spray.
Nice.
The smell of war.
Nice.
Joke for our American viewers there.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah. Well, you continue walking. You continue 5 minutes along the road, and would you like to have a chat or montage it?
I think this is a bit of a somber moment at the moment.
Yeah,
I think we largely know what we need to be doing. The time is of the essence.
Yeah.
Chit chat. I need my chit chat for the other people.
Cool. So it takes
probably after to calm big man down after he's made a puddle of a person. So
there is a high likelihood of rage today, I believe.
All right. Well, the walk, instead of taking 5 minutes, takes 4. And you take the first left, and the street's sort of very, very even more sort of desolate and ramshackle than where you came from. It's bumpy underfoot. It's just sort of dirt and loose rock rather than any kind of paving. The houses are more like shacks out here. So this isn't. This is actually just straight up outside the mountain. So you're not inside it. So inside the dwellings are built into the cave walls. Out here they are just shacks, and they're made of really whatever people have got their hands on. So spare sheet metal from shipwrecks and scraps of wood and things like that. It's very, 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 very poor. But you do see quite clearly up ahead the sort of symbol for clerical medicine, and it's on another shack. It's a larger shack, but it's still a shack.
Perhaps we found our doctor.
But perhaps not the person who has done this to everyone. Bear that in mind.
I will.
I will knock on the door.
All right. You hear a come in.
Cracks open.
All right. So you both go in?
I'll go in.
Yeah, I will too.
Cool. Make me a perception check going in.
Just looking for my dice there. You don't
20.
have them with you.
20.
21.
21.
9.
All right. I think Graccus, you're in like, I'm gonna find this motherfucker mode.
Yeah, I'm wired.
Yeah. And you, Cassius, I think maybe not so much, because you're taken in maybe by what you see in front of you, which is an older gentleman, 65 roughly, balding, grey hair, wearing cleric's robes. He is tending to another sort of one of the OAPs, just giving them a bit of medicine, and I think it's just like a couple of pills. So, you get on your way, and you'll feel right as rain in the morning. They get up and leave.
This
Graccus,
doctor has a motto. He's got like a tagline.
yeah, Graccus, you see that this guy is. You can tell that he used to be a warrior. Right. He is very, very well built underneath those robes, and you can just tell by his gait and even by his voice, which is quite. It booms a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's used to calling out orders. You think he could have been a soldier. He could have been a captain of an airship.
Yeah. Wasn't just a grunt on the battlefield. He had command.
Yeah. He's clearly got some presence about him.
Yeah.
There's no sort of unusual smells in the air. Just what you would expect from a kind of clinic.
So, as we're walking in, I'm going to cast Detect Magic.
Okay. 30 feet.
Yep, 30 feet within me. It cannot penetrate 1 foot of stone or 1 inch of common metal, thin sheet of lead, for example, or 3 feet of wooden dirt. So, given the makeup of the house, I don't know how much I'm going to get if there's scraps of it, but I feel like I can wander around a little bit anyway and maybe try and pick up other stuff.
There's a blind spot or two.
Okay.
There's a blind spot kind of built into the floor a little bit, like just sort of underfoot. The floor isn't just dirt; it's like fragments of things, and it's like a hardwood floor.
Okay.
But there is like a blind spot there. But apart from that, everything you're detecting is clerical. Like it's a lot of healing stuff. A spot of alchemy, maybe for like potion making, things like that. But nothing unusual. I mean, the blank spot maybe, but apart from that, nothing unusual.
Okay.
What can I do for you, lads?
Dr. Rayn, is it?
Rayn, that's me.
Fantastic.
Not seen you in here before.
No, we're not from round these parts. My name is Mr. Valentine. This is Mr. Fowbreaker. We are Heartbreaker Investigations.
Oh, I. What are you investigating exactly?
Well, you may have heard of the it's been called a sickness that's been running through Mihre.
Sickness.
Like a pox that has been afflicted on some of the people.
Symptoms? Can you give me symptoms? I treat quite a few. It's poor area. I treat quite a few people.
Sort of a graying and sallowing of the skin. Looks very much like a plague. Very, very quick to kill.
Yes. Yep. Seen that. Tried to treat it. Not been terribly successful in treating it.
Because it's not a sickness.
Because it's magical based.
I see.
Necromancy.
This is a curse.
Well, that would explain why our medicines were not effective.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's not spread terribly far. But we have seen a few people with it.
It's not spread.
Now, if we don't do our job, this will spread. This will spread immensely. The curse is placed on items, which as soon as they are touched, the curse is afflicted upon the owner of that item. And these have been saturated through the market. At least today, I'm not sure how long it's been going on, but this could be a real issue if we cannot find the person who's doing this. Our investigation led us to have two leads, two names, one being Lysa, a human who lives here, who had an appointment with you around 4 months ago.
He thinks for a moment. He goes over to his desk in the corner, pulls out a fairly sizable ledger, thumbs it back through. It's like it's a list of appointments you can see over his shoulder. And he finds the name, Lysa. Yep, she didn't appear.
She was taken by something.
Right.
Doctor, may I ask a quick question? Do you have an appointment for a calliope anywhere in your book? Would have been a few months before Lysa.
Perhaps 6 months.
In my book, maybe not. I wasn't a doctor here 6 months ago, you see.
Do you know what happened to that doctor?
I only what I've heard, right? Only what I've heard. So, apparently, she just disappeared.
Right.
So apparently she'd gone through some difficult times, some personal things. What that thing is what those things are is it varies an awful lot. But depending on who you ask.
Well, what ones have you heard?
I've heard plenty. I've heard that she lost. I've heard she's lost a child. Heard that she's lost several children. Heard that she lost her husband. Heard that she lost all her family. Heard all sorts of things.
Doctor, do you record what the appointments were for?
I do, yeah.
What was Lysa's for, if you don't mind me asking?
She was just in for nausea. Like morning nausea.
She was pregnant.
Oh. All right. Well, I hope that went well.
It didn't.
Oh.
While she was
right.
It got complicated.
While these talk, I'm just going to sort of be ticking everything over in my mind and having a look around so you guys can...
Yeah. Cool. I don't suppose you know what happened to the previous Doctor's things then, I'm guessing.
As far as I'm aware, they were cleared out. Either by locals coming in and pinching things, or I got rid of them.
You don't remember seeing an appointment book for the previous Doctor at all?
No, I don't. I don't know. So I can give you. I mean, I can tell you the people who've had this plague that's not a plague. I've got their names.
Let's stop it there.
Better than nothing, I suppose.
All right. So he takes about 10 to 15 minutes going through the ledger, picking out names. So he puts the names down, puts the addresses down.
Doctor,
and you end up with about 4 torn pages of names, front and back.
A lot of names. So Matt, that blind spot, is that whereabouts within the floor is it?
It is not quite in the center of the room. It's off to the sort of left, top left-hand side from the door.
Is there anything on the floor there that looks different, like a different construction thing or anything like that at all?
Make me a perception check.
Natural 20, so it'll be 23.
Yeah, sick. Okay, so you see the floor. It doesn't look discolored in any way. So it looks like it's just sort of a standard. Oh, fuck! Hit my mic. It looks like standard flooring. So there's no real reason, at least from the top end, why it should be different.
Doctor, this is going to sound strange. Would you mind if I pull up part of your floor?
Looking. Why?
Yes, why?
My druid craft. I can detect magic. There was a very specific signature that these curses held. There is an unusual blind spot in the floor of your building, the floor of your home. It doesn't make sense. The rest of the floor isn't blocking that sense. It's as if something is different beneath the ground.
Have a look.
I appreciate that. I'd walk over to that section and I sort of grab at the floorboard and see if I can pull anything up, if there's anything loose or any indication that it can be moved or anything like that at all.
So some of the floorboards are nailed down, but he hands you off a sort of like a. It basically hands you off like a sort of dagger type thing that you can use to pry them up.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna pry them up bit by bit. Again, I don't want to, in case something's under it, but I'd pry them up to sort of see them and put them to one side. I am trying to do this neatly because I don't want to just wreck the guy's house, but I still want to know what's going on here.
Ooh, make me a sleight of hand check.
I might be paying some broken boards. That's an 8.
So you break 2 of the nails. They get bent out of shape, and as you're pulling the floorboard up, it does crack quite significantly.
Okay.
But you see below you, set into the floor. So it's sort of random bits of metal. And from where you were detecting the blind spot, it is a lead box.
This is interesting. Doctor, you wouldn't happen to have any tongs available, would you?
Yeah, here.
You might want to get rid of these after, just in case. I reach down with them and I try and pry the box up using the tongs, just because I'm conscious that I don't really want to touch anything that's potentially marked by this. and with it being lead, I can't see through it. So I'm going to carefully bring it up and put it down on the ground, and then look if there's a latch or something to open it with.
Okay. There is a latch.
I'd step back, Graccus. This is my domain.
Very well, Cassius.
Small, impregnable boxes. This used to be my craft. So I get out my thieves' tools. Start poking it and prodding it, seeing if there's... For one, if this is going to go off in my face. I want to see if this will go off in my face.
So you want to try and check for traps, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you roll for that? Fuck.
I think it's still a sleight of hand check.
I would. Okay. I would say that would either be.
I could definitely use an investigation. I could definitely I could use my thing.
I think investigation then. Yeah. I think because
you would investigate.
You would investigate, check for traps.
That does make more sense, doesn't it? So I get out my my special monocle or my special thing and check it over and everything like that.
Okay.
And I get a 17.
You do see that there is a catch. So unlocking it isn't going to be an issue. Opening it might be an issue. There is some kind of catch on the inside of the box.
Okay, so I'll get the thing unlocked anyway, and then we'll see what we can do from there. Does thieves' tools give you advantage?
If you're proficient in the skill and with your tools, then yes, you have advantage on anything like that.
I'm double proficient in thieves' tools.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, if you're proficient with the tools you would use to do the job, you gain advantage on that roll.
Cool.
22 to unlock.
Okay. Yep, you unlock it without a problem.
So where is this catch? Give me the spatial thing of this. I've unlocked it. Where is this catch?
Okay. So there is. So you got the box and you got the lid. The catch is it seems to go all along the bottom of the lid facing you, where the catch is, where the lock was rather.
Okay. Well, there seems to be Graccus. If you look here, there's a small catch here. I sort of hand you sort of the thing just so you can sort of get a better look.
Yeah.
It comes. Does it seem? What does it look like? It's made out of, Matt?
It looks like very, very fine. It looks like a fine metal thread, essentially. You don't think you'll be able to cut it from where it's positioned,
but it looks like a thread.
It a bit. It looks basically like a thread.
Right. Okay. When I open it slightly, very, 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 very slightly, what does the tension look like in it?
It is. Yeah. Are you opening the box?
Not fully. No. I just want to sort of.
How far are you opening it?
I just want to see the tension on it as soon as that process starts. So if you look at it like this.
Okay, so even closed, you can tell that it's super, super tense.
So any motion up would spring the trigger, basically.
Right.
Yes.
There is definitely something that's going to go off if I open this box.
Would you know
what that is?
All right.
I would say, for the sake of the doctor's house, it's perhaps it's outside.
Well, doctor's house. What about my fucking house? I sort of disgruntledly walking out.
I'm more than willing to open it if you prefer.
Right. Let's think. Let's not just go opening up trap boxes. That's not what I'm about. That gets around, then not okay. Never good.
the doctor has sort of he's in the doorway.
Doctor, can you protect me at all from this box with your magics?
I mean,
or indeed Graccus. I mean, anything would help if I'm going to open this.
I mean,
thing.
I can cure wounds afterwards. I don't have any preemptive things, unfortunately.
I mean,
okay,
hang on? Do you even know what it is? What it is inside? You don't know, right?
There is a trap in here, which means there is something in here which someone doesn't want us to see.
So what?
Now, unfortunately, I am.
Do you think this is the person? Do you think the person who you're looking for? This is their box.
The only reason
I have no
bury a lead box is to hide something. If you're trying to make a magic curse,
it's not my box.
I fully appreciate that, Doctor.
So,
but
I wouldn't say that I would think that it was the previous doctors or the person that we're looking for. It could very well be, but we have no evidence
to know what's inside,
or to the contrary. And I most certainly need to know what's inside. As soon as I'm presented with something as this, it must be found.
I can. I mean, there's a few things I can potentially do, but obviously we don't know what this thing is. Let's assume that it is the person who you're tracing. What would they put in it?
Something necrotic.
Perhaps something that's perhaps making these artifacts or the next clue.
The trap, though, is probably going to have some sort of necrotic power to it. Based on what the curse is, it uses necrotic energy to power it. Whoever's doing it is messing with some dark magic, which is probably what they booby trap this with as well.
Right, so what I do, I'm going to do that cool thing that I did in the first one. I just sort of click my fingers, and this sort of hazy thing sort of shrouds me. Well, now hopefully I can protect myself, gentlemen, but should I fall down and die, please do your best.
I promise I will.
Graccus, you still have detect magic on, don't you?
I do indeed. It lasts for 10 minutes, so unless it's been 10 minutes.
Yeah, oh no, it will have been because he was making the list.
Then yeah, it's off then at that point.
Okay. All right.
Well, I mean, I've realised I fucking forgot this through the whole thing. I have necrotic resistance anyway.
Okay.
And now I have resist all things.
Okay.
I mean that works.
Resist all. So this comes around me, and I go, well, should I drop down unconscious? Please help me out, boys. Seeker watch over me, and I pull it away from me, but I pull it away from these boys as well. I pull it towards the sky side.
There is a burst of something dark and grey and horrible. It almost finds its way up your nose, and it's acrid, and it's sort of it's the stench of decay, and it goes just straight up your nose. Oh boy, make me a con save.
Not my best. But
you've got your thing on, haven't you? What's the shroud, right?
My thing. Yeah, it's resist all.
Okay.
What did you do?
It's
I mean, it wasn't a critical fail.
It's a 2, isn't it?
It was one above that. It was a 3.
Okay.
So now, with my modifier, it was a 3. Yes, it was a 2 that I rolled off.
Okay. So.
Wow.
You take then. That's 2d10s. But it was only 6, so you take. No, it was 12. I rolled a 2 and a 10, so that goes down to 6 because you're resistant.
Okay.
And you are cursed.
Oh, good.
Curse is in the same bloody curse.
At this point, you don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Outside of character, I suspect so.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Well, that was fucking awful.
The doctor mutters a healing word at you. So you regain your hit points, but you are cursed.
Okay. I do not feel okay still. I think we are now on even more of a time limit, Mr. Foebreaker.
Right.
So I just go, right. I turn the box around. What do I see?
Inside the box, you see a stack of journals. They are, I mean, it's stuffed full of them. So it's like 8 journals, roughly. Bloody hell, mic's going again because I was resting my mic on this journal. Sort of this size, 8 of them stuffed in on top of each other.
Okay. Mr. Foebreaker, are these things cursed?
I cast Detect Magic for my final spell of the day.
Oh, Christ.
To be fair, at this point for me, my magic is better using utility than it is in anything else.
Okay.
Right.
They are not cursed. They are just researched. They are just
books. They're not. They're clear.
Okay, boys, take a journal.
Doctor, so sorry to trouble you. Would you mind helping?
Oh, I've already thrown a journal at.
I assumed you had, but I thought I'd be polite.
You got one. You get another one. I'm not wasting any fucking time, and I'm just sat there cross-legged reading through the third one that I've picked up.
I'm just going to start looking through as well.
Okay. How far outside the doctors are you?
I would have just gone out the door, pointed sky side.
Okay. So you're just sort of maybe like 5-10 feet out the door.
Yeah, not much.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Okay. Graccus, make me a perception check.
Oh God. I'll have to re-roll that because that's fucking cocked. I can't.
Fair enough.
That's a 12.
Remind me the radius of detect magic.
30 feet.
Okay, so right at the edge of your detect magic field, let's say, there's just traces of magic in the air. They're rapidly fading away. There's just it's just like a trace in the air, just a whisper of magic.
Is it the same as the stuff that's in the curses, or different?
It's similar to what you felt on Liza.
Right. Cassius, stay here. Check those journals. We need to find an answer. Agreed?
What's the matter? I'm just still going. Just like
the magic that was around Liza, it's not far. I can see it in the distance. It's moving fast. I need to follow it.
Right. I stick my hands in the journals, put them in the cape. I've got what was it? 8? Was it?
There's 8 total in there.
8.
So there's like 2 in there, 2 in there.
I'll pack 2 in my pack.
I'll give you 2. Doctor, don't let these out of your sight, please. And I go, let's go.
And I'm off. I'm following that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll just follow him.
So from what you were reading in the journals, these are basically, so the top ones were all like research notes. So the one you saw was just, it didn't seem to be that suspicious, really. It was just sort of, research into sort of medicines and different alchemical formulae and things like that. I don't know if that's the plural of formulas. formula, but whatever, that's fine. It is now.
Formulae.
And you sort of flicked through. I'm going to say while Graccus sort of pinged something, like a few minutes. I'm going to say like a few minutes passed of you looking through these journals, and before something was pinged. So the top three were just fairly benign. The other ones may not be, however.
So if the three that we have are benign, I don't want to give. Actually, why the fuck would I give anything to the doctor? These are secrets. They're mine. So they're going in my bag. Going in my bag. Graccus can have two, because I'm sure I can chat him up for the other secrets. But
dude, I'm not gonna give a shit about the secrets. I want to find out if it's the old doctor. That's all I give a shit about. After that, it's your unit.
Yeah, so I will package all of them though. I'm not going to give them to him. That would be foolish of me.
So
not very in character of me at all. So I'll pocket them and then we'll make haste.
So you carry on down this. So the road goes up a little ways, branches off into different various sort of alleyways and things. You'll get into the end of your detect magic thing. But you're following the trace pretty clearly, and you follow it probably a good 100 to 200 feet down a road, and then it turns off, and then you lose it. Now there are people down here. There are a few people down here. Make me a perception check.
18 this time.
That was a natural fail. Fucking failing.
Roll 20 does not like.
Oh boy,
7. It's waiting for battle. It's waiting for battle. I know.
Hopefully it is. You see, Graccus. You see a genasi about 150 feet away. She stands out amongst the people around.
I'm going to walk over towards them, but keep scanning the crowd or the other people here to see if anyone looks like they're paying a bit too much attention to us, if you know what I mean.
Yep. Cool. With your 18, you can see that you're getting a few strange looks. Because, I mean, your new faces, you're well armed. Cassius is well dressed for down here. So you're getting some odd looks, but you're not getting anything apart from that.
Okay.
The genasi hasn't clocked you yet. Or has she? Okay, so you look up at the genasi and you see that she is casting an occasional eye over her shoulder. So, and she is looking straight at you. So you suspect that you suspect that she was observing you at the doctor's place.
Cassius, the genasi in the distance. See them?
Oh, she's made you.
I suspect she was the one that was causing that magic.
Very well. Right. Now I can sort of just get like my bloodhound sense on her. She's not going to say, is she moving?
She is moving. She's moving at sort of a brisk walk, I would say.
Okay, now I'm going to go into tail mode. Well, hopefully I'm going to go into tail mode. Because I'm just going to break off from Cassius and start working through this crowd to try and get a bit closer to her.
To try and assist him at least, because I know she knows I'm here. I'm going to keep walking in the same direction. I'm not going to change my behaviour. At this point, I know Cassius enough to know what he's got a plan here. I'm just going to keep going. I'm not going to run at her. I'm not going to speed up. I'm just going to walk in her direction and see what she does.
Yeah, as soon as he says, do you see that Genasi? And I went, oh, she's made you. I've just gone. I've gone away. I've split off at that point.
Okay. So, Cassius, roll stealth.
Come on, roll 20. Don't be a bitch.
Graccus, roll stealth as well.
Because you're trying to remain innocuous. Wait, I might have done that wrong. I did do it wrong. Haha, fuck you. I'm not using that roll anyway because it's wrong. 24, there we are.
Okay, that's better. Because I'm about to say, if you roll badly, I just rolled a dirty 20 on my stealth.
Okay.
A massive orc, not built for it.
Well, you succeed in looking pretty innocuous, Graccus.
Yeah.
As you walk up the road. I guess you make a show of like checking around. There's a few very shop stall type things, and you make a show of like looking at them. Cassius, you seem to poof out of existence, and you are like in the shadows.
So what I do, I make a show of robbing Graccus, right?
Oh.
So I say something to him, oh, you've been made, and then I take his coin purse. Not so that he knows, but that she knows.
Ah, okay.
So she thinks I am a thief. In the thing, it goes and into the crowd.
Okay, let's see if she buys that.
I better get that coin purse back.
You both rolled well, so I'm going to roll with disadvantage.
I've got to spend that money repairing.
Okay, so with disadvantage. With disadvantage, she does not clock what you're doing. And she just sort of carries on walking.
So I want to try and make it to this woman.
Yeah, again, I'm just going to continue at the same sort of pace in her direction, make sure that I can still see her.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way that I can sort of come around, Matt? So if Graccus is going like full frontal at this woman, is there any way that I can come from the side or from the back?
Possibly, yeah. I'm going to say yes. So you can weave into another street.
If there's like an exit, perhaps, is there somewhere where I could stay if Graccus gets to her and she darts? Is there like another way where I could hopefully be there and hit her with something?
Possibly. I mean, you can go off into a side street and continue along and maybe cut her off if she turns. Mm-hmm. But she's not really giving much of an indication as to what direction she's going apart from forward.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and she's got a considerable lead on you.
Okay, so I'll trail her from either left or right and try and make some ground between.
Okay, so you when you get to within maybe 20 feet, she passes out of sight for a second, and then where she should come out, so she goes into kind of an alleyway type thing. Mm. And Graccus you pursue, and Cassius you pursue, but where she's about to come out, she doesn't come out. She's gone. So she is she's likely disappeared into one of the buildings.
Mm-hmm. So retracing our steps to where she went in, what do we see?
You see an alleyway, very, very tight. Quite large buildings on either side.
So, based on my experience in my home, what could I maybe determine her rough height and maybe a gamble at her weight?
To what end?
To work out roughly what sort of size footprint she might have.
Roll survival.
19.
She looked to be slightly larger than average. And looking down at the ground, you can see what you recognize as fresh prints of Bel Air, fresh sort of scuff marks on the ground that correspond to footprints. And you see them going into a building on the right-hand side that looks fairly. It's squat, but it's wide.
Right.
Only one level, and the window is blacked out.
Looks like she went in here, Cass.
And there's just one way in, from what we can see.
So there's a door that is closed, and possibly locked. We don't know. There is a window. It is blacked out. It's relatively high off the floor. Maybe a perception check, both of you.
12.
14.
Okay. So, both of you note that although this building looks very, very old, there's like a sort of chimney coming out of it that looks new-ish. And the smell coming from that is not pleasant at all. Echoes of the island where you found the pillar,
the mind obelisk.
The mind obelisk. Echoes of that, maybe. Echoes of Jonathan's house, where there was the definite smell of illness.
Echoes of getting cursed.
Echoes of curse.
Echoes of my curse.
I'm getting.
Oh yeah, from what you Oh no, it
curse.
absolutely reeks of what hit you from the box.
This is absolutely where we need to be.
At this point, it's pretty clear that the rage that kind of subsided when we got to the doctors, it's building back up again.
Like who got the 12 and who got the 14?
I got the 12.
So, Cassius, the window, it's about 6 feet off the ground. It is blacked out, but you could potentially, I mean, it could be an entrance, but you'd have to get a closer look.
And then, so this is just an alleyway. There's no way to go around this house at all. This is just like a front, and it's just next to.
Yeah, it's basically everything is so close together, and it's like basically conjoined with the buildings
So essentially,
around
it's like a terrace house.
Yeah, basically, that's what I was thinking of.
What is the window blacked out by? I want to get a bit of a closer look to the window. What is it blacked out by? Is it just dirt?
Perception again, please.
14 again.
You can tell that it's something fairly solid. It looks like dirt has been used actually to kind of muddy it up, but there seems to be something behind it that is solid.
So if I was to instantaneously clean or soil an object no larger than 1 cubic foot, I now love prestidigitation. I understand what this is for now. All things. It's for all things.
Brilliant.
Once you work out the utility of stuff like that, they're great. Like that mage hand.
It's a Swiss Army knife. It's the major Swiss Army knife.
Mage hand is the same.
Well, you can prestidigitate it if you like.
That's what I would like to do.
Okay. To clean the dirt off it. So you don't clean it completely. It looks like it was like dirt mixed with oil and things like that, and trying to form some kind of tar-like substance. From what you can see through, though, you do see what looks like wood and sheet metal on the other side.
Okay. So I sort of come back to Graccus and go, well, I think we only have one entrance point. We don't know what's behind it.
Am I kicking the door in then?
Well, if you do, I need you to stay your Zen self for as long as possible, Graccus. We need to understand. We need to understand why.
Fine. But depending on what they find, we'll see how long it stays in.
If we can find out why, then I will walk out and you may do as you please.
I'll take that deal. At that point, I
So I shake his hand and give him his sack of gold back as well.
I just sort of give him a look as if, like, for fuck's sake, really? And just sort of put it in my pack this time, not tied to my waist, but in my pack. Again, and then just, shall we?
Indeed we shall.
And I just boot the door as hard as I can.
Make me a Constitution saving throw.
Saw that one coming.
Oh no!
No, to be fair, I fully saw that coming and thought, I'm going to get cursed. Yeah. Fine.
We're going to get so cursed.
Cool. So I'm just checking. I thought I was just checking danger sense, but it's not. It's just dex saving throws. So that is a 14.
Are you resistant to anything?
I'm not.
Okay. 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 Well, you only take 2 necrotic damage. There's only 1 d10 because you only just failed it.
Damn, I knew it'd be like a 15.
Now make me a strength roll. Strength athletics check.
Okay, cool.
To actually boot the door in.
I mean, I rolled a 19. It's a +6.
The door, boom, it explodes inwards. You get a poof of stuff in your face, and you're like, phew. And you walk in. I'm guessing.
Well, I think he probably just fucking bolts in, right?
I mean, it's the foot goes through the door, it hits the ground, and I'm bounding in at that point. It's all one motion.
Yeah, you Leonidas the door into the place.
Pretty much. Graccus has breached and cleared using only his body.
Yeah, you walk in and
I'm the engine method and the flashbang all at once.
And Cassius, you follow behind. And you are confronted with something that we will find out next time.
I fucking knew it! I fucking knew you'd do it! I knew it!
I still have to wait to rage!
All right.
Luckily, we film 2 a day, so we get to do this very soon. You've got to wait a little bit, okay? Because that's the internet. Delay your gratification, okay? Delay your gratification of your literary excitement, okay? It seems as though we are coming towards a finale, though. We are barreling towards the end of something here. As always, do all the things you're supposed to do on YouTube, or don't, but please do them, because that'd be nice, and we'll be nice back by, I don't know what we do.
We can respond.
Carl does a nice dance.
That doesn't sound like Carl.
Oh wait, that's me. That's me.
That's you. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen, Bodies of Water. Like it if you did, dislike it if you don't. Comment, because then we'll chat to you. And subscribe so you can find out when this comes out. We know when we're filming it is right now. We're going to film it in like 2 minutes, but you've got to wait a little bit. And if you want to see it as soon as possible, subscribe. Until then, love you. Bye. Mwah.
Bye-bye.